What happened to Liv Morgan on Monday Night Raw has sparked the biggest controversy in WWE this year, and I'm about to tell you exactly why WWE management should be ashamed of how they handled this situation. If you think this is just another wardrobe malfunction story, you're dead wrong. This goes deeper than anything we've seen before, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why this incident could change everything for women's wrestling in WWE. The footage I'm about to show you will make your blood boil. The way WWE production handled this situation is absolutely disgusting, and the fact that they're trying to sweep this under the rug is exactly the kind of corporate behavior that's destroying the wrestling industry. But before we get into the details that will shock you, let me paint the picture of what should have been Liv Morgan's biggest night. Monday Night Raw was supposed to be Liv Morgan's moment. After months of building storylines, personal rivalries, and championship implications, she was finally getting the spotlight she deserved. The match was set up as a #1 contenders bout that would determine who would face the women's champion at the next premium live event. Liv entered that arena with everything to prove. Her entrance was electric, the crowd was on their feet, and you could see the determination in her eyes. She was wearing a custom-designed outfit that reportedly cost thousands of dollars, specifically created for this career-defining moment. The outfit was meant to represent her evolution as a performer and her readiness for championship gold. But here's where it gets infuriating, and this is information that WWE absolutely does not want you to know. According to multiple backstage sources, there were already concerns about the outfit during the pre-show fitting. Production assistants allegedly raised red flags about potential issues, but those concerns were dismissed by higher-ups who were more concerned about the visual impact than performer safety. The match began with Liv showcasing exactly why she's considered one of the most athletic performers in the women's division. Her high-flying moves, technical wrestling skills, and natural charisma were on full display. Everything was going perfectly until the moment that changed everything. Approximately 12 minutes into what was shaping up to be a Match of the Year candidate, disaster struck in the most humiliating way possible. During a high-impact move that required Liv to use the ropes for leverage, her outfit experienced a catastrophic failure that exposed her in a way that should never happen to any performer, male or female. But here's what makes this story absolutely infuriating. The way WWE's production team handled the situation shows a complete lack of respect for their performers and their audience. Instead of immediately cutting to commercial or switching camera angles, they kept filming for several additional seconds, capturing Liv's shock, embarrassment, and the exact moment she realized what had happened. The look on her face when she understood the extent of the malfunction was heartbreaking. This is a woman who has dedicated her entire adult life to entertaining WWE fans, who has worked through injuries, who has dealt with countless challenges to reach this level of success, and in her biggest moment, she was failed by the very company she represents. What happened next will make you question everything about WWE's commitment to their female performers. Liv, showing incredible professionalism, tried to continue the match while discreetly attempting to address the wardrobe issue. But the damage was done, and you could see her confidence shatter in real time. Here's where this story gets even more disgusting. Within minutes of the incident, WWE's damage control machine went into overdrive. Social media clips were immediately taken down, fan footage was being claimed and removed, and official WWE accounts started posting completely different highlights from the match, pretending the incident never happened. But the most insulting part? WWE's official statement, released less than 2 hours after the show ended, basically blamed Liv Morgan herself for the incident. They claimed it was an equipment malfunction that was unavoidable and handled professionally by all parties involved. Equipment malfunction? Are you kidding me? This wasn't a microphone cutting out or a lighting issue. This was a complete failure of WWE's wardrobe department that humiliated one of their most dedicated performers on live television in front of millions of viewers worldwide. Multiple sources backstage have confirmed that Liv was in tears immediately after the match ended, not because of any physical pain, but because of the emotional trauma of having such a private moment broadcast to the world. She reportedly locked herself in her dressing room for over an hour, refusing to speak to anyone except her closest friends. What makes this situation even more infuriating is the deafening silence from WWE's roster and management. Where are the statements of support? Where are the calls for better protective measures? Where is the accountability for what happened? Other female performers, who should be standing up for their colleague, have been conspicuously quiet. Male superstars who regularly post about respect for women in wrestling have said absolutely nothing. WWE's management, who love to talk about their commitment to creating a safe and supportive environment, have basically thrown Liv Morgan under the bus. This isn't just about one incident. This is about a pattern of behavior that shows WWE's true priorities. They'll spend millions on pyrotechnics and elaborate entrance sets, but they won't invest in proper wardrobe testing and safety protocols for their performers. The wrestling media has been just as complicit in this cover-up. Major wrestling news outlets have either ignored the story completely or published sanitized versions that downplay the severity of what happened. They're more concerned about maintaining their access to WWE than protecting the dignity of the performers they claim to support. While WWE tries to control the narrative, the real victims of this incident are being forgotten. Liv Morgan, who worked her entire career to reach this level, had one of the most important matches of her life overshadowed by a completely preventable wardrobe failure. But it's not just Liv who's suffering. Every female performer in WWE is now wondering if they're next. How can they trust that their equipment will work properly? How can they perform at their best when they're worried about potential humiliation? The female fanbase, particularly young girls who look up to WWE's women's division, witnessed their role model being failed by the very company that's supposed to protect and support her. What message does this send about how women are valued in professional wrestling? And let's talk about the broader implications for the wrestling industry. This incident has given ammunition to critics who claim that women's wrestling is treated as secondary entertainment. It reinforces negative stereotypes and sets back years of progress in establishing women's wrestling as legitimate sport entertainment. This situation demands immediate action, and WWE's response so far has been completely inadequate. Here's what needs to happen right now. First, WWE needs to issue a public apology that takes full responsibility for the incident. Not some corporate non-apology that blames equipment malfunction, but a genuine acknowledgement that they failed one of their top performers. Second, they need to implement comprehensive wardrobe safety protocols immediately. Every outfit should be stress-tested, backup options should be available, and performers should have final approval on anything they're asked to wear. Third, Liv Morgan deserves compensation for the emotional distress and professional damage caused by this incident. This isn't about money, it's about accountability and ensuring that performers are protected from preventable humiliation. Fourth, WWE needs to establish an independent review board that can investigate incidents like this without corporate interference. Performers need to know that their safety and dignity are prioritized over television ratings and social media buzz. But this isn't just about WWE management. The wrestling fanbase has a responsibility to demand better treatment of performers. If we continue to accept this kind of negligence, we're complicit in creating an environment where performers are treated as disposable entertainment rather than skilled athletes who deserve respect. The fact that some fans have been sharing and commenting on footage of the incident is absolutely disgusting. This isn't entertainment, it's someone's worst professional nightmare being broadcast for the world to see. Anyone who finds humor in Liv Morgan's humiliation is part of the problem. Real fans should be demanding accountability, not spreading clips of the incident. Real fans should be supporting Liv Morgan through this difficult time, not making jokes about her misfortune. Real fans should be pressuring WWE to implement better safety measures, not defending the company's inadequate response. This incident represents a crucial crossroads for the wrestling industry. We can either accept this as just another mishap and allow WWE to continue prioritizing profits over performer safety, or we can demand the systemic changes that will prevent future incidents. Other wrestling promotions are watching WWE's response to this situation. If there are no consequences, if there's no accountability, if performers continue to be treated as expendable, then this kind of negligence will become the industry standard. The women's wrestling revolution of the past decade has been built on the idea that female performers deserve the same respect, safety measures, and professional treatment as their male counterparts. This incident threatens to undermine all of that progress. We're at a moment where the wrestling community needs to decide what kind of industry we want to support. Do we want an industry that protects its performers and prioritizes their safety and dignity? Or do we want an industry that treats performers as disposable entertainment and covers up its failures with corporate spin? This is why I'm calling on every wrestling fan watching this video to take action. Don't let WWE sweep this under the rug. Don't let them pretend that this was just an unavoidable accident. Don't let them continue to prioritize television ratings over performer safety. Contact WWE directly and demand better safety protocols. Share this video so more people understand what really happened. Support Liv Morgan by showing that the wrestling community stands with performers who are failed by their employers. Most importantly, don't let this incident be forgotten. WWE is hoping that if they stay quiet long enough, people will move on to the next storyline. But this isn't a storyline. This is about the fundamental respect and safety that every performer deserves. The wrestling industry will only change if fans demand change. We have the power to hold WWE accountable, but only if we're willing to use our voices and our wallets to send a clear message that this kind of negligence is unacceptable. What happened to Liv Morgan on Monday Night Raw wasn't just a wardrobe malfunction, it was a complete failure of WWE's responsibility to protect their performers. The fact that they're trying to cover it up instead of taking accountability shows exactly what kind of company they really are. This incident will define how the wrestling industry treats its female performers for years to come. We can either accept WWE's inadequate response and normalize this kind of negligence, or we can demand the respect and safety measures that every performer deserves. I know this video is going to be controversial. I know WWE isn't going to like what I've said. But sometimes the truth is uncomfortable, and sometimes holding people accountable means risking backlash. What do you think about WWE's handling of this situation? Are you satisfied with their response, or do you think they need to do more? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to share this video so more people understand what really happened to Liv Morgan. The wrestling community needs to have this conversation, even if it's difficult. Because until we demand better, incidents like this will continue to happen, and performers will continue to be failed by the very companies they dedicate their lives to represent. If you thought tonight's story was wild, trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. So don't stop now. Click on the video right here on your screen to continue the chaos, the drama, and the inside scoop only we deliver. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and join the Wrestling News CC family, where the real stories of WWE come to life. See you in the next one.